Hi, I'm Hunter, and this is my chicken run. While it may just look like a normal chicken run, there's actually a mystery inside. Let's go investigate. So the mystery is, where are half of my chickens? Well, not really half, just a few. But where are they? We got a good group out here eating the salad that I gave them. We got another group up here. But what in the world is going on in here? It's a broody party. This right here is Broody Trudy. This right here is Broody Ursula. Now, what does it actually mean when a hen is broody? So, let's get a little bit into the science of this. When chickens lay eggs, like this one, they have to sit on them for 21 days in order for a baby to hatch out. That's if it's fertilized. Now, the only way it'll be fertilized is if you have a rooster, which, looking around, we don't have any. So why are those girls sitting in there? That's a great question. So, with the heat wave that we've had recently, where it's been super hot, their body temperatures have warmed up and their hormones have started to tell them that they need to hatch out babies. Which isn't necessarily the best thing in the world since it is so hot, but I'm just letting them do whatever they want to do to stay as cool as possible. But essentially, we have these girls laying in here because they want to have babies of their own. So if there were eggs in here, they would be laying on them for 21 days, and then eventually they would hatch. The problem is, this is a roll-away nest box. So any eggs that are laid in there where they're laying down, just roll into this compartment here, like that one. So they're not actually sitting on anything, but they still think they are. And you can see from that puffed up posture, that's their little defense mechanism, that if somebody or a predator or another bird reaches in here, tries to disturb their nest and their eggs that they're trying to hatch, then they get a little spunky. Now our girls are really nice, so they're not too much of a bother, but this is the first time that Ursula has been broody, so she's new to this game. Meanwhile, Broody Trudy here, she is our most broody girl. She's a little bantam cochin, so their breed typically when they're cochins are broody, and bantams by nature are more broody than standards, so you mix a broody with a broody, you get Trudy here, who has been broody probably more of her life than she hasn't. She's our most determined one, so she's the one who likes to sit here the longest and get super broody. She's old season pro at this. So that's Broody Trudy, Broody Ursula, and there's one more girl in here. If we can get to her. This is Broody Dorothea. So Dorothea is a little splash silky, so silkies by nature are also very broody. Now she is a very special girl because you'll see she's broody over here in this corner. And unlike the rollaway nest box, this coop actually, if there's eggs laid in here, will sit there, which there are right here. There's a little nest of eggs. So you would think, hey, if she wants to sit on eggs, she would go over here where there's a little nest. But instead, she's in this opposite corner, and there is nothing underneath of her at all. She's just sitting there, hatching an imaginary nothing, because she's a little silly girl. And she's also been broody a lot of her life, but every time is sitting on nothing. So we have 3 girls that are broody right now, and we have a 4th girl, which she's running around somewhere. Kathleen right there in the middle. She kind of thinks that she is a rooster, even though she's not. She likes to look after the hens. So you'll actually find her a lot of times being the 3rd girl inside this nest box, sitting and hanging out. And it's kind of like a comfort support thing, where she lays in there to keep them company, because when they're broody, they don't go and do anything all day. They just take a couple quick breaks for food and water, come back and sit down, make sure that those eggs hatch fine. So that's kind of what's going on right now. Basically, this coop right here, or I should say this run right here, is now Broodyville. Population 3.5, I'll say. And so they're trying to hatch out eggs that aren't ever gonna hatch out because we don't have a rooster. But maybe one day we will have a rooster and they'll be able to fulfill their lifelong dreams, especially Trudy, who's always broody. But until then, they're just gonna keep sitting, trying to stay cool in this heat. Gotta make sure that they get food and water. We tried a couple things when it's not been super hot outside, like taking them for car rides, giving them baths. You can put them in a pen, a separate pen that has its own like flat bottom that they can't really get comfortable on. And we found that works sometimes, but ultimately, no matter what, it really comes down to the hen itself. Like all the things we tried with Trudy never broke her. We just had to wait her out and then eventually she'll stop. But we do have other hens that we've tried, you know, simple things just as one bath, and that snaps them out of it. So it really just depends on how determined they are. But Miss Trudy here, super determined, always is, always will be. But like I said, she'll never be hatching out anything right now because she's not even on eggs and we don't have a rooster, but maybe one day we will. She'll get to fulfill her lifelong dream of being a mother, and we'll get to share that journey with you. But until then, stay broody and stay perfect.